Hello, 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 and welcome back. Happy Thursday on Electricpreneur Secrets, the Electricians Podcast. We're here with you 5 days a week to help you guessed it, master sales, simplify pricing, and deliver premium level service. If you don't know what that means yet, go ahead and join our VIP on the Facebook group, the community page around this podcast on Electricpreneur Secrets. It's pretty easy to find also if you just typed in the Electricians Podcast. If you want more information on us, you can grab a little bit more of that at serviceloopelectrical.com. Today, we've got a very, very important session on another following this vision pattern this week, culture and coordinates. But Joe, first I want to know, how are you doing besides having a coffee that I don't have?
Can I tease you about that? I mean, it's only got 4 ounces of caffeine in it, so it's not really anything that's going to do anyone any good.
What do you call that if it's only 4 ounces of caffeine?
I don't know, other than a cup of not acid reflux, I guess is the right
Is it
word.
between decaf and like real calf?
No, I use the Keurig pods where I use 1 pod of full and I put it in 4 ounces, and then I put the other decaf at 12 ounces full intense. And I get the taste of coffee with a little kick of something without it affecting my heart, make me going, everything's awful.
That's nice. Just before the show, Joe was educating me on the Keurig because the reason I don't have a coffee is I didn't have time to make a pot before this one. I did have a coffee earlier, but I like to bring one to this podcast. I didn't get that chance today because my Keurigs keep breaking. And Joe just told me why. You got to educate some more people here, Joe. Please help us.
I have broken 4 Keurigs in my lifetime, both at my facility and at my own personal home. And what we found after being tired of spending money on Keurigs was if everyone's using Keurigs, they can't all be shitty. We're buying the best ones. It turns out it's the water that you put into it. What we do is when you put filtered water in, it doesn't break. And here's why. Unfiltered water often has minerals and iron in it. Those 2 minerals stick to the heating element inside the Keurig. The Keurig has an inner sensing element that says whether or not it's getting hot. If it can't detect the heating element, it does not turn on, which is why they'll just die or not heat up.
Remarkable. And we just learned that on the Electricians Podcast. More lessons on H2O coming next week. H2O and Keurigs. No, thank you so much, because you know what? I was actually thinking what I need to do is buy the best one. I'm going to buy the best Keurig so it stops breaking. And instead, I was going to keep putting unfiltered water in it and fucking it up.
Can we tie that back to electric for a second? Because that actually is a perfect moment.
Let's do it.
Right there, you have experienced what the average customer has to experience if they've gotten burned in the past before. Hey, nice. I bought a generator. It's like, I bought a generator, but damn, it just doesn't work. I bought the portable generator system, and you know what? After 2 seasons, it doesn't work. And now I'm pulling and pulling and pulling. Babe, we got to go automatic. That's what it was. We went wrong. Did you maintain it? What do you mean? Did you check the fluids? Did you fire it up once a month? Did you change anything? Did you clean the carburetor? Well, no. Well, there's your answer. What happens is some customers will buy the best, not realizing that they neglected the small things. And when you can educate them on that, you become something so different than anything they've ever heard. Because every other electrician came by and was like, yeah, 22 kW Generac, that's what we're going to offer you. Sure, no problem. And here I am going, well, before we throw it away, let's make sure that that's really the best course of action.
I love that. And though we're off topic, we're still on brand here. So let's go a bit deeper. What's the real challenge here for them?
The real challenge is the believability, because they realized, hey, I spent $3,000. I spent $5,000. I spent $7,000 on the system. I bought the generator. I bought the transfer switch or the interlock. I bought the cord. I bought the gas. And now it's all down the drain. And the thing is, people have this fear of almost like, I don't know the exact word of it. You probably will help me out. Where they invest the law of lost investment, time investment.
Yeah.
Where they
loss aversion.
Loss aversion. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Where
to add, let me just throw this in there.
Sure.
the power, it's double the power of, the fear of losing something is twice as powerful as the win of gaining something.
Correct.
That's what we're trying to say.
Perfect. Thank you, Clay. I appreciate you. So we're in this circumstance where this client feels in their mind they have the answer. They think they bought a shitty unit. And as a result, they're thinking, I'm just going to throw it away. What electrician is going to tell them, oh, yeah, no, you just need to maintain your portable generator. We definitely don't want to sell you an automatic. That's completely a waste of time and money. They're not going to. But when you operate from a place of integrity, you can offer 6 options that include both the automatic and maintaining and restoring your system. It could be 2 options for an automatic, 2 options for a lower grade system, and then 2 options for just restoring what they have.
Love it.
And you'd still be on code and on brand.
So let me ask you this then. I'm going to take it a step deeper. Why don't people do the maintenance? I think this is important to this discussion.
It is.
Why don't they do it?
There's a couple reasons. The main problem is that when people say portable generator, they assume that the customer can do it, right? Well, the customer, they'll be fine. They'll just take it to an engine shop. They'll just change the oil themselves. They'll change the spark plugs. They barely use it. It's not a problem. But we would never say that to an automatic. We would never tell the customer, oh yeah, that $17,000 piece of equipment you just purchased. Yeah, you could just get in there yourself and take care of it. So because we don't offer to maintain it, we put that burden on the customer. Because the burden's on the customer, either A, they'll do it, they might half-ass it, or they won't do it at all. And if they even half-ass it, the system's going to break, because try firing it with a dried spark plug. Like that's not going to go anywhere very fast. Or they don't do it at all, and now there's sludge in the carburetor. That's not going to go anywhere. So the biggest issue is we don't offer it. If we offer true white glove experience in everything we do, it should be, I see you have a portable generator. Who's currently maintaining that? No one's maintaining that? Okay, well, when was the last time you had it maintained? Never. Okay, when was the last time you purchased it? 5 years ago. Okay, great. Now let me offer some ways I can help you with this.
And since we're on the scent, I'm inclined to give them some firepower, a little ammunition to help with these options and understanding why customers might think they'll do the maintenance, but they won't actually do the maintenance.
Oh, that is so big for so many people. I don't know if you had something for it. Otherwise, I'm just going to roll.
Yeah, I mean, there's basically time management that everyone suffers with as one. And go ahead, tag in here.
So we actually had this problem. It was a really, really prevalent issue because New York got ravaged by Hurricane Sandy. And there were 2 kinds of people. Well, actually 3. It was the kind that didn't buy anything. But really, you had those who were like, I'm going full automatic and never going through this again. Or you had those going portable saying, well, if it happens again, we'll be ready for it. The problem was with those people was they would buy it and it would just sit in their garage. It would have oil in it. It would have gas in it, and it would sit. The problem is that there isn't anyone in the area that maintains them. The only closest thing was small engine shops. And because most people aren't saying, oh, well, they're not going to pay me $400 to come to their home and tune up their system, I'm not even going to offer it. But then the opposite is, sure, the small engine shop will do it for $150, but the customer has to physically get this generator off the ground into their vehicle, which may or may not be rated to carry a portable generator or any generator at all. Try fitting a portable into a Civic. And then they've got to drive it to the location, get it out, leave it there, not have the power in their home in case it goes out while it's being worked on, go back, pick it up, haul it out again, and then hope it doesn't have a problem. We could charge probably $600 and still be worth it because I'm saying I'm coming to your home. I'm going to do a test. I'm going to show you how to do it. You're going to know it even better than I do. We're going to test every load in the house when it's on active power. And I'll give you my standby number in case anything happens.
I got a random fact for you.
Hit me.
90% of gas-powered devices are under-maintained.
I believe it. Yeah.
Right? We're all surrounded by them. We got lawnmowers, weed whackers, cars, trucks, maybe a side-by-side in your area or a boat or whatever these toys. Like we all just collect gas-powered toys. That's what I've realized as an adult. And most of them haven't had their oil changed this season.
Unfortunately, you're right.
Maybe they're underutilized if it's a hobby toy thing with a powered motor. But bringing this right back to my under-maintained Keurigs and my poor use. Joe, I got to give you a hashtag. I got to give us a hashtag. Value added tangents. Even when we're off topic, we just sprinkle value right in there.
Yeah, you know what? It actually, believe it or not, if I can add one last thing, and then I swear to God, I'll shut up.
All right, do it.
Okay. So the lack of maintenance actually helped me sell more generators when I could tell them the story of the lack of maintenance. And here's how. So we installed, and there was a generator installed at my mother-in-law's house way in the past, right? Like way in the past. It wasn't done by us. It was way back. And it was a liquid cooled series, which was a serious size generator. Now, my father-in-law was telling all of us he was maintaining it, right?
Yeah.
He was saying he was maintaining it, but he wasn't. 5 years afterwards, he had gone through Irene, with Hurricane Irene. He had gone through Hurricane Sandy and multiple other major storms. Never did a single tune-up, and the system ran perfectly. What I did was when I drained the oil, it was pitch black, and I saved a picture of it, and I put it next to the unit, and I took a picture of it. And I explained going forward, if you want a liquid cooled series, this is what it's capable of withstanding. With oil this black, it could run 5 years without a maintenance and go through multiple hurricanes flawlessly. You will not get that from a residential grade system because they literally are telling you that if you don't change it in 36 hours, it's going to fail for low oil.
Wow. Powerful stuff. And as you're talking about the blackness of that oil, I'm thinking how black this coffee is that I don't have. Without further ado, Joe, let's get back to this week's vision topic. Talking about culture and coordinates. No, don't be sorry. That was huge. So many people are like, will you not talk about vision and just keep going about generators right now? You guys are in luck. There's actually a couple episodes already recorded that contain some of that fruit. So if you're interested in going back to it, now's a great time. Episode number, couldn't quote exactly, but I know you can find it just by going to either Spotify, Apple, Google, anywhere that you listen to podcasts, search for the Electricians Podcast, and then you can scroll down that list till you see something that says generator. That'll help to start. Also available on YouTube and Facebook. So, Joe, what we wanted to talk about today was this vision congruency with staff and how this impacts everything. Now, we've been on this tour for a few days now, talking about how important it is to stay the course with your vision. And we start to lose sight of that and take these easier jobs and things that just kind of come in this path of least resistance. And the real law of diminishing returns, when we do take and entertain those outside things, we even gave people a framework for how to make those decisions. Then yesterday we came back and talked about the perfect sale and linked how your vision actually can be brought through your marketing and create that perfect sale, that perfect execution and long-standing relationships by niching down and actually getting more focused in that vision. Today, I think it would be actually a disservice if we didn't talk about the impact that could have on recruiting, retention, even dare I bring finances into this and say the cost of goods sold by staying focused and in your lane, motivation, right? And even getting staff to market. Now, there's no way we have enough time to fully cover this, but we're going to do our best to dive into this and really let some people spin some wheels on this stuff.
I'm down.
First, let's tie in what we just talked about the other day in Edwin Castro's story.
Love it.
That was a situation where we just brought this to light, where a guy who stayed in his lane knows exactly what he wants. And he even commented during the podcast on our Facebook, in our VIP, he even commented about how he's matching his values in that recruiting, in the interview, to make sure that the people actually fit the company profile. How important is this? End monologue.
And you can monologue all day, man. I'm still listening to it. But I'd say it's absolutely essential in order to staff your team with people that follow the same vision. Because I think there's an expression that comes to mind where we're all people marching to the tune of our own drum. But imagine if everyone in your office was marching to a different beat. Would it look uniform?
No.
They could all be doing their own individual things and it would make sense for them as people. But when you're representing your service to the customer, you need to look uniform, regulated, lined up, and ready to serve.
100%. I love that. And I think actually, I'm going to go ahead and say this. I don't think enough time is spent in that onboarding and recruiting process to make sure that those values are in alignment and that your staff's goals, vision, and desired journey match your own.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as a result, what ends up happening is people end up way out here, far from where they saw themselves, even though maybe it was just a miscommunication in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Or as we talked about earlier in the week, where we're stepping outside of our own vision. And so people are getting lost in that. I think that's a huge piece of turnover and staff churn, honestly.
I can imagine that, because imagine starting at a company thinking that I am this person doing this. And then through the years, you have this wake up moment. You're like, where am I? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? This isn't making me happy. And that's too far gone. We could have saved this person by getting them closer and understanding the values, or never bringing them on in the first place. Get people who are aligned with you and they won't have to leave because they'll see themselves in you.
Definitely. And if you're hiring electricians and you're in service and you're clear about who you serve, what you're trying to do, hey, we're service electricians, we service homeowners. Then whoever you're interviewing, that's like the basic congruency. That's the most basic effort to make sure that we are in this symbiotic relationship that serves both of our paths.
Agreed.
But what's beyond that? What is the reason for your vision? Like in Edwin's case, it was about family, home, and safety. Why? Because he's a family man with a young family. That's what he cares about. That's what's important to him. That's what he's built his life around. So I don't blame him for that. Why not serve more people like you? Wouldn't you have more in common?
Ideally, you would. I mean, I actually found that I became a better salesperson when I was more relatable with people. And I didn't become relatable until really I had a family, because I had something more than myself to work for. And being able to show pictures of your kids and talk about how amazing your wife is and all that, it really connected with a lot more people.
100%. I'm going to use us as an example, even with a recent hire, and it's still underway. We're still fine-tuning what that vision looks like. But everything we've crafted so far caused our latest hire, Raina, to be really pumped up. And she said magical words just a couple days ago. Do you remember we were in a meeting with her and she said, what you guys have drawn up is my dream job.
She did. And it really was one of those things where it made me take a step back and say, that's how you know we're doing this right. Like right now, I'm in my dream job. I know you're in your dream job. And if we can surround ourselves with people who are like, yes, I like where this is going. I like what this represents, and I want to be a part of it. That person will always go the extra mile because they see where the ship is headed.
100%. And all that takes is just a little extra investigation. It doesn't stop there. If someone says, well, yeah, this is my dream job. Okay, fair enough. Awesome. I'm happy you're here. Why would be the better moment there to have? What are the things you like about this? Just like when someone accepts your options, right? In the sales process.
That's a great choice. Why do you like this option?
100%. Getting to know that why is going to help us navigate the challenges that we're going to inevitably face. Would you agree with that?
I would.
Such a powerful motivator. So often in our clients and in different electricians we talk to, I hear this kind of similar statement from our electricpreneurs is, well, what do they want? Speaking to staff, maybe it's after a reflection of where they're at. No, they're pretty good. Yeah, I like them. Or yeah, they need some work, or something they do bothers me. Okay, well, what's their journey? Where are they headed? What are their goals? And almost uniformly, Joe, our electricpreneurs don't know. Where are they trying to go? Isn't that important to the journey we're sharing together?
If I may,
Yeah, please.
I have a situation that lines up exactly what we're talking about of something I actually did wrong by not listening to this lesson.
Hmm.
Would it be okay if I touch on that for a
Please
moment?
do.
So we actually had multiple CSRs at different points, and we always tried to maintain at least 2 to 3. And I remember having one. I'm not gonna say her name in case she's ever listening, because you were totally sweet. But hey, the situation was this: she was great. Everything she was doing was working. People loved her. She was absorbing the system, and everything was good. I wanted her to work a different shift that would put her in front of more people. It required her to come in on a Saturday, and she would have multiple days off, but you could come on a Saturday. And she said no. She turned down a promotion. I was like, I'm literally going to pay you more. I'm going to promote you. You're going to have all these things. She said no. And I got mad at her. I remember being less mature and being mad and being like, if you don't do it, I'll find someone who will, because I need this. And then she left. And the reason why she left was because it wasn't her vision. She wanted to be a banker. That's what she wanted. And because I didn't know where she was heading, I didn't know how to line up to serve that vision. And I know if I could have said, hey, I'm going to teach you skills that'll help you in the banking industry by doing this. And hey, if at that time when you have those skills and I give you a salary that can match your banking salary, then we can decide whether or not you want to leave or not. But I didn't handle it right because I didn't know her why.
100%. I love that, man. I got off a call with a prospect and I'm likely future client yesterday. And he was saying how the CEO of their fast growing franchise is known for putting people ahead of profit. I love this model. I love it. And today, in today's age, like we have to go that direction. Mm-hmm. Culture requires intention. People require intention. Relationships require that same level of intention, that intent. Mm-hmm. We have to put people before profit, at least in some capacities, not to a point of a sinking ship, but to a point of calculated investment. And when we truly say that, and reflecting on what you just said, by knowing and maximizing that relationship, whether mm-hmm. they left or not, that relationship would be one that maintained this common thought with you.
Correct.
And that is that Joe did put intent in maximizing my potential. Joe did put intention in making me more able to realize my dream job. Wouldn't that person then also recommend your services?
Of course they would.
Wouldn't that person then also recommend other recruits?
They would, because when they go and talk about whatever facility they're at and they say, man, I'm looking for another job, we'll always be top of mind. And not only will they give them a way back in, but they could bring others with them.
100%. This is so important. And so thinking forward in that, it almost relates directly to this staff marketing piece. When you treat people well and give them reasons to be proud, and you're all on this congruent vision, this congruent mission to work towards this common purpose, then that's something they can be proud of. So they'll have no problem letting others know that this is a great place to work. You know what? Joseph with Service Loop Electrical truly puts people over profit. He truly does. He helped me do XYZ in my personal life, and he took his own time to do that. That's what I'd rather be known for. And that's what'll have that network effect on you. That's what'll bring in the masses that will cause you to be the light in the dark, that will cause you to be magnetic. Would you agree with that, Joe?
I do. And the reason why I do is because I've seen that in you. You know, you've been told many times that you're the light in the dark, and you were for me. And I know you are for others. And I'm grateful to be here by your side to serve this mission.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I really do. This concept of staff marketing is something that's foreign to a lot of people. But if they were that congruent with what you're doing, you can even have them trained to do social media posts. You can have them trained to build that network out. Joe, I got to say this. I got to say it emphatically, and then we're going to run out of time here.
Okay.
We are all currently one person away. We
That
are
needs some
all
elaborating.
currently one person away. As I watch my life unfold, as I see yours unfold, as I see my partner's life and nonprofit unfold, I just recognize how we're just one activity of showing up as ourselves and for others away from meeting that one linchpin person.
Wow.
This is all about people, and we're one person away. I see it time after time. And when I map out my own timeline of getting to this point, I know that there's mentors along the way. There are people, there were connections at every step that led to the next open door, that became the next lever.
Mm-hmm.
And not to talk about people like just a way to get ahead, but we truly grow through community. Mm-hmm. Like if you don't like people, I got bad news for you. This isn't it. Even entrepreneurship really isn't going to be it.
Unless you're in a basement somewhere coding computers all day, never having to see the light of day, you're going to have to be involved in people. And the best example that I ever heard of was, okay, we're not using people to get ahead, right? But imagine all of you had to lift a log. You're all lifting at the same level because you believe in the same thing and because your efforts are in sync. And as a whole, the action becomes less effort than if you were all out of sync and trying to lift on your own.
Well, I like that. Great example.
Thank you.
I'm going to go on edge here. As our mentor would say, insert a little anger on the problem and some passion in the purpose here. I'm going to go ahead and say, guys, I'll let you know that we come across soft. This is a new way to look at business, especially in the trades, to treat people so well, when most of us came from a background of shut the fuck up and do your job. Mm-hmm. Don't ask questions. Just do what I told you. I was brought up by people like that too. I don't find that that's necessarily conducive to growing a performance-based organization. Mm-hmm. So don't get me wrong. I am no slouch. I'm no softy. I will push people to help them realize their best selves. But with a vision, we can always self-evaluate and do a quick audit. Like if we were in a conflict right now, Joe, we could take a time out, step away, come back calmer and collected, look at the vision, and then look at the conflict and go, okay, is this a distraction or a necessary work through? Mm-hmm. What can we do to still realize that vision? How do we get there? Because it's important to me and I know it's important to you. Just as an example, even conflict management gets easier when we know where the fuck we're going. Mm-hmm. So it's not just about being 5 minutes late from lunch because you didn't have a Keurig. Oh, that's got to be the end of this one, right? We went a bit long here. Joe, do you have an action item in mind for these fine fans of ours?
I actually do. So originally we were talking about like how to find the right people and getting them in line. And then you inspired me when you were talking about what it was like growing up in the industry that we did. You know, I remember being told that I was brain dead or that I didn't understand, or people even threw the R word every now and then, which I really hated and got a lot of throat punches for that. But the thing was, what you'll find is that that doesn't actually help move the ball forward, right? Those people who are saying those words were coming from a place of anger because they weren't in control of their own situation. When you're not in control of your own situation, you lash out. And it didn't make you respect those people more. So yes, we may come across as kinder, more open-minded, even potentially softer. But the reason being is because we don't have to flex. We know what we're doing and we know what we're capable of and we know where we're trying to go. So the action assignment that I have for you, the bare minimum action, is before you yell at someone or before you even raise your voice to someone, say, is this anger a tool or is it the wrong tool that I'm pulling out? Is it a hammer when I'm trying to undo a screw?
That would
anger
work.
has its uses. Yeah, anger has its uses when it's necessary.
Definitely. That's really good, Joe. Here's what I'm going to follow up with. I've got an all-star action. I'm a
Okay.
fan of notepads and journaling, and I'm a fan of treating people well and making them feel important because they deserve that. I think we talked about this week already when my mother-in-law told me I am enough.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't hear that often. And that might seem silly to some people. That might not even feel important to one person, but I'm telling you, to the other 8 in the room who are entrepreneurs, electricpreneurs, they're probably like, oh, is it enough? Is it enough? We're all questioning that. You can help people feel like enough in moments, and that's really important. You can help people feel like you really care about them because you do. And I know as an entrepreneur, if we just get busy, it's not
Mm-hmm.
that you don't care about the people that help you realize this vision, but it might be that you're not giving it the time and intention. So here's my all-star action. Grab a journal, make notes, put it on your phone if you need to, speak to it, put it in their contact section under notes if you have to. Whatever it is, keep track of some of the highlights of these conversations as they're going by. Instead of being a passive listener, when your staff tells you about the family and their daughter being sick, make a note of it. When they're telling you that the dog needs surgery, make a note of it. They tell you about their favorite hobby and what they enjoyed so much of the weekend, make a note of it. And even in these notes, you can include performance pieces from work and challenges at work because that's your file on this person and they deserve that level of intention from you. And what you'll do with those notes is suddenly now when there's a conflict, you'll look at their note file and go, what's really bothering this person right now? What are we really seeing here?
Mm-hmm.
Because as we know, it's not always so clear. People aren't so good at saying what's wrong. People aren't so good at saying what's motivating them currently, but they'll tell you all sorts of other red flag shit. They'll throw up all sorts of other signs. And these notes, being that strategic about your relationships, will make you one of the best leaders that you could possibly be. Mic drop.
Mic drop done.
That's it.
Mic drop done. I got nothing to add to that.
That's it, man. We went a bit long on this one. You guys, thank you for joining us. We got to talk about Keurigs, filtered water, generators, staff, and visions, but we did continue to stay true to our topic of the week, these visions. Treating your staff right and making sure they're aligned with your vision in the first place is going to help you retain and attract even more to your cause, your purpose. Having that why, Joe. This is all about having a why, brother. And this why has been, well, the what actually has been episode 127, which is culture and coordinates. You guys got to have this intention behind that. So I hope this helped. As you know, we're here with you 5 days a week to help you master sales, simplify pricing, and deliver premium level service. I can't wait to end the week with y'all tomorrow.
Looking forward to it. Y'all take care.